The thrust of dialogue between President Rouhani and Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi today will be on 4 issues: oil, Afghanistan, Kashmir and connectivity. Let's take you through each of them right now. But before now, let's cut across to live visuals coming in from New Delhi. There's a wreath-laying ceremony at Rajghat. The Iranian President Hassan Rouhani has arrived at Rajghat for a wreath-laying ceremony to pay tribute to Mahatma Gandhi. These are live visuals we're getting to you right now from New Delhi. Remember, just a few moments ago, the Iranian president received a ceremonial reception at the Rashtrapati Bhavan, and right now he has arrived at a wreath-laying ceremony in Rajghat to pay tribute to the greatest freedom fighter, Mahatma Gandhi. Remember, this is the third visit by an Iranian leader in the last 15 years. Earlier, he inspected the Guard of Honor and shook hands with cabinet ministers and other high Indian dignitaries. Now, the main pillar in ties between India and Iran at the moment is connectivity, and the Chabahar port in southeastern Iran is the pivot because the port gives India alternative access to Afghanistan and onwards to Central Asia, effectively bypassing arch-rival Pakistan. And this issue of the Chabahar port will be one of the key issues which might be discussed later in the day. Now, India is keen on operationalization of the Chabahar port to its full potential. The first consignment of Indian wheat was sent to Afghanistan through Chabahar in October-November last year. The first phase of the port was formally inaugurated by President Rouhani in December, and the full operationalization is likely by the end of this year. India is also looking forward to work with Iran to operationalize the ambitious international north-south transport corridor. This corridor will connect Mumbai with Central Asia to the port of Bandar Abbas on the Strait of Hormuz, and then through rail and road links to the Eurasian region. There's also the common interest of stabilizing Afghanistan, but India and Iran don't completely see eye to eye on this issue. While Tehran views US involvement in Afghanistan suspiciously, New Delhi believes that Washington's role is critical to stave off Pakistan's power play in the country. As the United States winds down the Afghanistan war, there is an accelerating Iranian campaign to step into the vacuum. Iran is also making a bold gambit to shape Afghanistan in its favor, including providing local Taliban insurgents with weapons, money and training to keep the country destabilized without tipping it over. The other major pillar driving the engagement is energy. India imports almost 60% of its crude from West Asia and the Gulf, and Iran is one of the major suppliers. New Delhi is keen to lift the relationship to a comprehensive partnership by developing the Farzad B offshore oil fields in the Persian Gulf, in an indication that Iran may be looking at to arrive at some understanding on the issue. Rouhani is being accompanied by his oil minister, Bijan Zengne. But one major sticking point was how to pay Iran for crude oil, primarily because the EU and US sanctions prescribe doing business with our Iranian entities. On this front, India is allowing its businesses to invest in Indian rupees in Iran. This is a major departure from rules that allow Indian investors to open businesses abroad only in foreign currency. So far, permission to invest in rupees has only been given to Indian businessmen investing in Nepal and Bhutan. Now, Kashmir is an issue which has led to a fair bit of friction between Iran and India. Now, twice last year, Iran's Supreme Leader Ayatollah Khomeini spoke on Kashmir, urging support for its oppressed Muslims. The last time Khomeini had spoken on the people of Kashmir was in 2010, and the Indian government had lodged a formal protest then. India subsequently abstained on a resolution on human rights violations in Iran at the United Nations Human Rights Council. India and Iran have traditionally had a positive relationship. New Delhi has managed to not succumb to pressure from US interests and has maintained partial economic ties with Tehran during the sanctions period.
CIS countries and also those in